everybody, this is B, and I am back again with Repurpose. It's been a while. I hate to admit, it's been longer than I wanted it to be. But, we are back. This game is a lot of fun, and I honestly need to play it. Oh, shoot. That's not what I need to do. Load. We need this one. Yes. Okay. So some time had passed, and I noticed through the window that it was equivalent to nighttime outside. So it's been a long time since we played. So, like, a real long time. The sky remained cloudy and vacant of any moon or stars in sight. It was to be expected. I doubted either of those would exist in limbo. I suppose it's just another thing I'm going to miss from the living world. I gave a weary sigh at the thought and took a seat in one of the pews. Even with all the shenanigans I had endured today, I couldn't help but feel somber. My life as I knew it was over. I couldn't even properly lament my own death, as I had no recollection of the events leading up to it to make matters worse. God. The reality of mine and the other's situation was starting to hit me harder than before. I threw my head back and heard the church doors open, bringing my pity party to an end for the moment. It was Rosetta and Mitz, with another person right behind them. Faye, probably? I may be depressed, but I wasn't going to be rude and not introduce myself to the host for the night. I pushed myself up to my feet whether I wanted to greet them or not. You're Faye, right? Faye was a tall, slender woman with dark hair and a streak of silver that ran down from the side of her angular face. I can't tell if the silver was from the dye or natural, but for the sake of avoiding asking a woman what her age is, I kept it to myself. Despite that, by no means did she look old. Mature, sure, but she made it work. Faye Bell, but Faye is also acceptable. My, the place looks far from heavenly. Not that that's an insult, no, it's something to be, dare I say, praised. DJ Roadkill hopped down from the stage towards us, full of piss and vinegar. Yeah, tonight is gonna be lit. Is now really a good time to party? May as well. We don't know what we'll hold for the four of us tomorrow. Why not throw a killer rave for the dead? But I'm not dressed for a rave. I doubt anyone will be, honestly. Oh, no. You have that all wrong. We all looked at her. During my visit here, I tend to bring an assortment of daily necessities for the residents. That includes clothing. They might not be designer and a little worn out, but everyone has at least one or two Sunday best in their possession they save for special occasions. However, this time I didn't bring anything extra to donate for you. But I would gladly loan you some of mine. Just for tonight though, since they're my personal outfits. That's so sweet of you. Told ya she was cool. Yeah, thanks for everything you've given us. It's much appreciated given our circumstances. She smiled warmly for us. Well, most of us. How do you get all these supplies here? I didn't... Hi, Sky. My cat's like slowly creeping up on me in the darkness. Can't be easy, let alone safe, to try to support a whole town of citizens. DJ looked up at Mitz and nudged her. Mitz, why are you trying to look a mouth horse in the gift? I think I'm pretty justified in being suspicious since she's from hell. Yes. Mitz. No need to defend me, DJ. I can understand why Miss Mitz would question my unwavering kindness. Especially considering I'm from the big bad place under the ground. So I must have malicious agenda, right? Mitz kept quiet. Faye sighed in disappointment. Such a narrow-minded view in reality is unfair. Not all in hell are inherently bad people. Some were dealt a bad hand in life, never receiving the help they truly needed to better themselves. Others simply enjoyed their lives to the fullest that a good Christian believer could only fantasize about. And some just don't quite fit into that black and white criteria Utopia has created to screen people like yourselves. Hence why you stand here in the place of existence between realms today. Mitz kept quiet, looking a bit ashamed, like a child being chastised by her parents. Faye's expression softened once more. Not everyone in hell is a bad person. There are very bad people in it, but that doesn't make me or anyone else inherently evil. To vouch and answer your question, most of these supplies are donated from citizens in hell. How am I able to bring them here? I suppose you can say I have a permit to move through limbo and hell when needed. Oh, I hit buttons. Trying to get comfy. Mitz kinda squinted at that last part. A permit? DJ jumped back into the conversation. Hey! Mouth horse gift. The semantics of everything would take too long to go over. Mitch shrugs, letting the topic go. It looked like she wanted to say more, but stopped for DJ's sake. Especially since we have a party to throw tonight. Woohoo! Party! Oh yeah, now we're talking. My room is down the corridor on the right. It's the big mahogany door. You can hardly miss it. Now see if you can find an outfit suited to your taste. We followed the directions as told and found the room with no problem. For the most part, it looked like an office with amenities for comfortable living. There were a futon rolled up in the corner that looked barely used next to the wardrobe where I assumed tonight's loners were stored. Many of the bookshelves remained, but I can't help but notice many of the titles were not exactly the most religious. From storybooks, young adult novels, literary classics, to comic books, to some more adult-themed literature. I flipped through one of the books. Yep, it's porn. Alright. At the beginning of the book, I noticed a pocket with a note in it. Return to Faye by next arrival. Maybe the room doubled as a library? I suddenly felt a hand on my shoulder. What you reading there? DJ's grip on my shoulder tightened. Woohoo! Faye, you minx. This is some kinky shit, not that I'm gonna judge. My kind of gal. Good thing she's romanceable now, huh? Oh yeah, we did. Thank you to all the backers, y'all are the real MVPs. So I guess they, made her romanceable by backing this place. For backing, Repurpose, so if you guys did any of that, congrats. This game does need to be backed, so. With that little break finished, they went back to searching through the wardrobe with the others. Personally, I can't give much a care as to what I would wear for the party tonight. A sense of gloom hung over me that was too hard to shake. Hey B, aren't you gonna pick out something too? I shrugged. I'll just wear whatever's left, honestly. That's no good. We don't want her to feel left out, right guys? Rosetta looked over to Mitz and DJ, who had almost a full outfit already picked out, and Rosetta frowned their way. Huh? Oh yeah, right. Come on, join us. We can help you pick something that suits you for the show. They said that, but kept their picks close to them regardless. I gave in and dug through the racks and drawers. A blazer, cheeky shorts, smart suspenders. I didn't feel like going overboard, so I picked out the button-up with a plaid pattern. Get in the locker. Achievement. I threw on some suspenders with my favorite color for good measure and for some style points. The gang let me have first dibs to change in the restroom. Once I came back, I did a turnaround for them, and they clapped approvingly. I can't help but blush as they all complimented me in one shape or another. It gave me a small boost of confidence I really needed right about now. Thanks, you guys. My turn. What? I thought I was next. Unless you want to change together. Sure, we're both girls. I'm non-binary, actually. That's fine, too. Backtracking a bit, I'll hop into and make sure DJ doesn't try anything. Like what? I wasn't. Not without anyone's consent, of course. The three of them went to change in the bathroom together, and since I was already dressed, I felt it was polite to stay behind. One by one, they came out and showed off their outfits for the night. Rosetta wore a simple, bright yellow dress that really brought out the highlights in her hair. I can't tell if DJ was going to hit the Old Town Road or the club. Mitts kept it simple and comfortable with a layered look. You all look great. They all thanked me, each in their own way, when a knock came at the door. A line is starting to form outside. You lot ready yet? Yep. Wonderful. We all stepped back into the hallway and made our way back to the main area. The whole atmosphere did a 180 from a sacred sanctuary to a poppin' nightclub with a flick of the lights. Residents of Limbo filled the room, and the quiet was immediately alive with the sound of excited chatter. DJ pieced out and hopped on stage, living up their name, and started their show. Rosanna and Mitchell followed suit and went over to the dance floor to party with the rest of the crowd. Everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves, us, newcomers, and Lombardians alike, despite the circumstances. And yet, not much of a party goer, B. Not really. It's not really my scene, you know? I neither. I throw these parties mainly for the people of Limbo. I sighed wearily, and Faye smiled at me sympathetically. Hey, come with me. I know a quieter place. I blinked. Huh? Just follow me. You'll feel better. I promise. Faye held my hand loosely, and I felt strangely compelled to follow her. She stopped in front of the confessional, a dim light flowing out from its windows. She opened the door on the right and led me through, and... a bar? No place really was sacred in the church/club. At least the lighting was less intense on the ice, and the fruity aroma. From behind me, Faye popped open a bottle. Some sort of sparkling wine, and with care of the champagne into the glasses in her other hand. Apologies, but it looked like you could really use a drink. I managed to laugh. Really? First turning the church into a nightclub, and now the confessional is a bar? Now, this is still a place of worship in a sense. It's the Twilight Church, and we praise the night. Faye walked behind the counter and gave a little pat, beckoning me to take a seat. I obliged. I enjoy playing bartender while the party goes on outside, and listen to people spin me their yarns. They unload to me all their burdens, regrets, and fears, and I give them my ear with a piece of guidance, and a side of the poison of their choice. How kind of you. You say that, but I had my fair share of glasses thrown my way. Much like whiskey, my advice isn't that easy to swallow. Ah, I see. As we chatted, a small handful of people entered the bar. It seemed like we were not the only ones that preferred a more low-key atmosphere. They didn't charge me, or anyone, for the drinks, saying it was a civil service they provided for the club goers. Apparently, there were rules and regulations on the transportation of drink and food to Limbo. Utopia could only bring so much food into Limbo, though clearly not enough from the looks of some of the people. Hell, on the other hand, had an all-out ban on edible perishables. The demon's higher-up allowed people such as Faye permission to carry things such as alcohol to be freely transported, and apparently from Limbo. It was a lot of politics that Faye spared me on the details. She patted my head and went on to serve the other clientele that wanted to wet their whistles. They all seemed somber, but would crack a smile just for Faye as she poured them a drink. Oh, hello, baby. Except for one raggedy blonde in particular. He seemed to just be in a bad mood despite the little act of kindness. Noelle. Seems like more and more humans keep turning every day. It's a shame. It's a bloody tragedy, that's what it is. Casey went belly up last week. Oh dear, how did Honora take it? Pretty fucking bad considering his Geist went on a rampage on her. I had to put them down myself if their roommates screamed at me. While their roommates screamed at me. How awful. But you made the right call. Really? Because it sure never does feel like it after the fact. Now, Noel, my sherry. It'd be Mon Sherry now. Mon Sherry. There's nothing else that can be done. Casey was beyond saving and was dragging Honora down. Most people that end up here in limbo don't pass to either side, turn into a Geist at some point. This time was different, Faye. Casey was going to retake the Utopia trial with the new arrivals this week after 5 years of waiting. Noel gestured over to me. I suppose he meant this Casey was planning on taking Utopia's test with us newcomers. And 5 years seemed to be a wait time between attempts at getting into Utopia for humans of Limbo. God, why can't you just hold out a little while longer? Faye sighed, more annoyed than anything. To be blunt, I don't think it would have done Casey any good. You shut your fucking mouth. Noah got up too fast for me to see. I couldn't properly see it when I was sitting down across the bar, but he had wings. Wings blacker than anything I've seen before. Light just disappeared into it, never to be seen again. They extended wide and intimidating, but Faye seems unfazed. Here we go again. You don't know shit. Oh? Well, I do know is that you're trying to save the hopeless despite their apathy. Or the alternatives. Literally fucking hell is hardly an alternative. Better than trying to adhere to Utopia's high standards. The acceptance rate has dropped from what, 75% to 72% these last few years? Doesn't seem like much on paper, but there are still lives being denied. I may not be as strong as I used to be, but I'll still beat your ass, Faye. You keep saying that, but you get to lay a finger on me. Too quick for my eyes, Noah grabbed Faye, a look of genuine surprise in her eyes. Christ, what should I do? Let's try to defuse it. Let's not get too hasty now, guys. I didn't say anything wrong. You don't know whether or not Casey would have been able to pass the test. You aren't the ones that make up God. Faye cracked a smile, and it only made Noel more pissed. He hadn't been causing trouble, and was even helping me track down stuff that greedy bozo Horties stole from our village from under our watch. Blankets, apples, clothes, even toys of ours got jacked last week. Toys? How about you just take the whole wallet? Is that enough? Hell am we supposed to do with a dinky wallet like that? Can't carry anything in it. But that's a lot of fancy toys you have strapped to your belt there. Much fancier than this one we traded for. Really? Is that what actually happened now? Huh? Faye giggled heartedly, clearly amused, and I had an inkling why, remembering my interaction with Horties earlier. That stuff Horties stole? Casey was the one who took it in the first place. Now, Noel looked shocked. You have such a tight lock on the village that don't you think it's weird Horties of all people would be able to sneak in and out without so much as you noticing? As long as you're around, watching over the few sane humans in this residential area, Horties wouldn't dare. Him and his lackey Jacobs may be eccentric, but they aren't stupid. That doesn't prove anything. Fine, but answer me this. Who was on guard duty that night? You or Casey? Noah kept quiet for a long time, scratching his head faster and faster as he probably recontextualized everything he thought he knew. He then suddenly sat down in his seat, first banging so hard on the table I thought it would split in two. Motherfucker! He lied to me. Again. He looked so betrayed while he sat there sulking, biting down on his damaged lip and drawing more of his white blood. I know, baby. Faye placed a hand on his back, but Noel swatted it away. We just stood there in awkward silence for a good while, till Noel lifted his head back up. Faye? Yes? Bring me your strongest shit. We're getting plastered tonight. I'll be back then. I was about to leave when... You stay. Huh. Got some balls getting between us. You know, most people either respect or fear that lady. Which are you? Me? I can't fucking stand her, but she's the only one that has good booze in Limbo. So a little bit of both, I guess. She scares you? Nothing really scares me much anymore. But between you and me, I can't help but feel uneasy around her. Something's off. Noel shrugged. Kid, I've been here in Limbo for a few centuries, and that one's been visiting here for almost all of that. Humans that live for as long as she can be a little cookie. Horty's been here for maybe 100, and he's calling himself the king of Limbo. I've met him. Yeah, he's pretty weird. Totally fucking nut job. Those two are. Am I right? Noel laughed, and then Faye reappeared. Who's a nut? You, of course. Well, didn't even try to hide it. Nothing. I haven't already heard before. The rest of the night was relaxed as Faye served me a few more drinks. By the time the club and bar closed for the night, I had forgotten all about my previous worries. Yes? My cat's just over here screaming. I headed on to bed in one of the booths with a blanket Faye left for me. The reflective light shining down on me from the broken stained glass above woke me up when morning came too. The others seemed to have risen before me and were cleaning up the mess the party left behind. Finally! You're awake now. Good. Get up and help us clean this shit up. It was the least we could do to thank Faye for letting us stay the night. I got up and stretched my muscles and slowly got up. Thankfully, I didn't have a hangover despite drinking last night. I picked up a broom and joined Rosetta, Mitz, and DJ in sweeping the dance floor. Rosetta being a wait. No! Ah! Sorry about that. I apparently screenshotted because of my cat. Rosetta, being a waitress and all, was no stranger to cleaning up messes left behind by others. She mopped the floor spotless to the point I swear I could see my reflection in it. DJ and I sort of just swept everything into a trash bag. Where does trash even get thrown out? I asked DJ and they shrugged. We could always just burn it. I don't think we have to worry about the environmental impact here in the afterlife. Mitz was a little slower and would see if anything interesting was left over from last night. I don't think she found anything of interest, though, in the end. Once we were done and I stopped over analyzing each person's cleaning like some weirdo, we took a break back on the booths. So, Deej, you wanted to talk about some quote-unquote other options than what the angel and demon gave us? There's other options? Did I space out when they mentioned them? Technically they did and they didn't. Heaven or utopia or hell were out. Only viable options. Yeah, but there was a third. Staying in limbo? I don't know if that mask has been blocking out your view, but this place is kinda a generic dystopia wasteland where the lost end up to live the rest of their afterlife, never having their souls put to rest till they either go insane or die twice. I was gonna say dump, but that works too, I guess. You aren't wrong. There isn't much hope for any of us here. At least in my opinion, that is. Yeah, I know things look pretty bad as is. But you saw on the others. you saw on the way to the village. There are real people here, and they've made Limbo their home. How many willing, really? Even if they couldn't get into Utopia, which chimes a few alarms, hell is right there too. Why not go there? Maybe because it's fucking hell and they're scared? Listen, guys. DJ Roadkill sighed. I know it's hard to sell, but I think there's potential here. The people here aren't so bad. Troubled, but like who else wouldn't be in their situation? Last night at the bar, I met someone that said his friend was trying to get better, so he could try to get into Utopia. See? Though, it turned out he was a thief. See? No way. I'd want that dude stealing any of my shit while I was trying to rebuild my hand. Well, you don't have to worry so much considering he had to be put down. Put down? Yeah, he turned into a geist is what he called it. I think those geists are those shadow creatures that lurked around in town. Rosetta and Mitt's faces went pale and DJ's ears drooped at the revelation. Wait, those monsters were once people like us? Fuck, I knew it. Cliche and overdone, but I knew it. That's it then. No way am I staying here. I've got too much to do, so much to give. No way am I gonna let myself become one of those things. You won't. Fate told me that only happens when you lose all hope or die. I've already made up my mind, Deej. I'm not going to die here. Please understand. Mitz got up from where she sat and began walking for the door. DJ gave chase to try and stop her, little to avail. The opening and closing the church doors echoed throughout the hall with such certainty that Mitz was not coming back. DJ looked over the rest of us. Well, we can make do with the three of us, right, guys? Rosetta and I looked at each other, doubt evident in our faces. You too, huh? Well, I'm not gonna force you. I'm gonna go get my stuff and head into the hood. If either of y'all are still here, then cool. If not, then consider this my goodbye. Rosetta fiddled with her hands, unable to look DJ in the eyes. Bye. She then turned around and walked off with haste to the entrance. DJ went off to collect their things stored at the stage, silently cursing under their breath. I just stood there in the center of the church alone, left with nothing but the options laid out before me. The little morning light there was reflected off the stained glass wall and shined down on me. I closed my eyes, trying to absorb as much warmth from it as I could. There was that kind-hearted angel, Kaylee, that wanted to help each and every one of us make it to Utopia. The demon, Raymond, who was just curious as I was as to the way I died and offered me a deal. Follow along with Rosetta and Michelle to take the trials. Or stay here in Limbo, like DJ said, in society guarded by Noel the fallen angel. So many routes I could take to reach some sort of promised happiness. But in the end, the answer was clear to me. Deep down, the answer had to be... Oh my god. Is this the end? Because this is just the demo. No! No! I wanted to know. Well. Okay. Ribby the pug, Lucas the Havanese, miniature poodle, or Bichon Frise, we aren't too sure, but I should tell the groomers he's a poodle. And Iris the cat. Oh, and you too, I guess. Thanks for playing my game. Okay. So, definitely, I hope this game comes out. They've been working on it, and it's going to be free. But I highly recommend, at least from what I've seen last, here you are, total love/friendship points for each character. Kaylee 1, Raymond 1, DJ Roadkill 1, Mitz 2, Rosetta 2, Noel 1, Phase 0. Check out the Kickstarter page for updates on the game. Okay, so, like I said, definitely recommend hitting them up, looking this game up on itch.io, and I'm going to hit the link in the description again. And Support them. This game is so cool, and I'm so sad that it's over. Like the demo, this is just scratching the surface. Like this isn't even the game, like full game. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.